Hi, my name is Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads. I introduced myself again in the next clip, so I'm sorry for doing that twice. This is the video tutorial for the 3-lace Tunisian crochet scarf, and I just love it. It's nice and thick and chunky, and if you didn't want to wear it as a scarf, it could also be like a smaller weight shawl. So there are beautiful stitches here, and I've just been calling it the 3-lace stitch, so I hope you enjoy this. Hi, my name is Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads. Today I'm doing a tutorial for the Tunisian crocheted. This is going to be the triple lace, either shawl or lightweight shawl or scarf, and it can be whatever you want it to be. I'm making it a little bit on the wider side just so that you can wear it as like a shawl over your shoulders if you would prefer. So I'm going to be using this yarn. I'm going to have it change color. So I'm just going to go through one color, then go through the next color, and then go through the next until it's the size I want. So I may not even go through all of these colors, but I'm using, these are all the same, TLC Cotton Plus. I don't know if you can get this anymore. I got this from somebody who had a parent that passed away, and they had a lot of yarn. And so this is, I've never heard of this before, so I don't know if this is just something that's not available anymore. But it's machine wash and dry. It's 51% cotton, 49% acrylic. It feels great. I think it's going to make a really nice lightweight shawl or scarf. And these colors are really pretty, and I think they can go well together. So we'll see. I'm not sure how many of these will go through, but I'll start. This one was my favorite color, so we're going to start with this. You're also going to need a Tunisian hook, one that has a little bit of length to it. It can be circular, but I don't use circular because I get unless I'm actually going in a circle, because I start getting confused. And then there have been times where I've been doing flat projects and I accidentally turned it into a circular project because I lost track of where I was. If you're better at that than I am, then don't worry about it. But this is what I'm going to use. And this is an F. I don't know if it says it on here or not. This is an F size. I don't see it. I don't know if these hooks, oh, here, it might say right here. It's really teeny, teeny, tiny. Oh, that's pretty impossible to read. You'll have to take my word for it. It's a 5. All right, so we're going to start with 48. And I'm starting with an I-cord. I prefer to start all of my flat projects that way. If you haven't started this way, I'm going to show you. All of this is going to be step by step, and it's going to be pretty beginner friendly. Now you do need to kind of have the basics on chaining and you know, how to put things through your crochet hook. But if you can do those kinds of things, then you're in good shape. I have a little knot in here, so let me pause this and come back. Okay, I finally got that sorted out. So if you'd like, you can just chain 48 and then you would chain one more so that you could go into the next stitch. But with the I-cord, you're already set and you won't have to do that extra stitch. So for making an I-cord, you're going to need to have, for this, about a 2-foot tail on your left side. And then your yarn that's attached to the skein or ball, whatever, will go to the right. And you're going to start with a slip knot. And then again, I have my tail on the left side here. And then I have my yarn that's attached to the skein on the right side. We're going to start with the tail side to do the I-cord. You're going to put the tail side over to the right on top of I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind here. On top of your first one, your slip stitch. And then you're going to take your side that's attached to the skein and bring it over to the left on top of that one. So each one will go on top. And then you just take that yarn that you just brought over from the left and draw it through both loops. And that's one. And then you're going to just keep doing this over and over. Take the tail side, bring it to the right on the over top. Take the skein side and bring it over top to the left. And then you draw it through. And that's two. I'll do a couple more with you, but doing 48 of these would probably be very long, so I'm just going to do a few more with you, and then we'll pause and finish our 48 and come back. So your tail side, bring to the right. Your skein side, bring on top to the left, and then pull through. Take your tail side, bring it to the right, skein side, bring it to the left, draw it through both. One more, and then we'll pause here and do our 48 and come back. Tail side to the right, skein side to the left, and draw through. All right, let's pause here, get our 48, and then come back. Okay, so our next step, you want to make sure that you're not drawing from your tail anymore. Okay, so if your tail is still long, you might want to cut it a little bit shorter. If you want to, you can weave it in right away, but make sure that now you're taking from the yarn that's attached to your main source, ball, skein, whatever. So we're going to start drawing up loops. So you go in just as if you're a crocheter, this is going to be just as if you were going to go in and do a single crochet. You're just going to go into that stitch and draw up a loop. Go into that next stitch. You're going to keep the loop on. We're not going to finish it like it's a single crochet. We're just starting to accumulate loops. Go in, draw up a loop. Go in and draw up a loop. We're going to do this to every single stitch that we have going across. I'll show you one more, and then we'll both pause here and finish our row, just going in and drawing up a loop, and then I'll show you what to do next. All right, so I have all of my stitches come up. I counted, and you might want to as well. There are 48 stitches on here. It's good in Tunisian crochet to fairly frequently count and make sure you have the right amount of stitches. It's easy to lose a stitch in this, and that has happened to me so many times, so that's why I'm usually careful to count. I do have 48 here. If you want to take a minute to count yours, you may. Now to cast off, what we do is we yarn over and go through one. In the beginning of the row, that's how we always start. When the first one, you yarn over and only go through one. Now for the rest, we're going to go yarn over and go through two. Yarn over, go through two until you get all the way across. Yarn over, go through two. Let's pause here and then come back when we're done. I have to apologize. I have a bunch of this done already, but what happened was I thought I was filming the next part and the video was not running. And then I went to put the video together and I realized that I only had up until the last segment that you just saw. So I'm going to go over what I thought I was videoing before right now, but you can get to see how the pattern it works up. It's really, really pretty. So you've just come across, you should, even though you won't have any of this pattern, you should look kind of like this, where you can see all of these holes. And these are called posts, these two lines right here that are together. They call these posts, and then these are the space in between the posts. So to do the next round, which will be repeated throughout the whole thing, you're going to chain two. You're going to yarn over twice. Now for the very first part of this, you're going to skip the first hole, and then the pattern will start. So the pattern starts by skipping the first hole. In this case, it's the second hole because it's the very beginning of the row. So we're going to skip this first/second hole right here, and then we're going to go into the third hole right here. This is always skip this first one, at least in this pattern. And then from now on, we're going to skip the first one and then go into this next one. Bring up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And now you should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over twice, go into the very next space in between the bars, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and now you should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, and now we're going to go back to this skipped space, which would be the second space here. So this, we're going to this first, I'm sorry, it's so confusing the first time you do this because it's technically the second space, but that's because we always skip the first one. You'll see when we do this again what I mean. So go back to that skipped one, yarn over again, go back into that same space, the skip space, draw up a loop. So at this point we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops. We're going to yarn over and go through the bottom 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to keep 3 on there, and when we come up with this loop, there should be 4 on there total. Okay, so I went through 4 of the loops. I have 4 on my crochet hook. And here's how it looks. So now you're going to yarn over twice. This is going to be the pattern repeating now. Skip this next space. Go into the space after that. Be careful, I'm sorry, before we go into the space, be careful because so many times I've seen people want to say this is the skipped stitch, but you can see there's already a stitch in it. We're going to skip this first stitch that doesn't already have a stitch in it. And you've yarned over twice, so go into that next one, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 loops on there. Yarn over twice, go into the very next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to yarn over, go into that space that we skipped, which is right here. Yarn over, go into that same space again, and then we're going to yarn over and go through the bottom 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you look carefully, we're going to have 1 at the very beginning of the row, and from then on you're going to just end up with 3 stitches after each time you do the pattern. So there's 1 to start with, and then you can see there's 3, and then there's 3 from this one that we just did. I'll do this whole row with you, even if it feels slow. I just want to make sure that everybody gets it, and then you see what happens next. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into the very next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Now we're going to yarn over and go into that skipped space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go into that skipped space again, draw up a loop, go through the bottom 4 loops. There's 2, 3, 4. And you can see that we got 3 loops from that pattern that we just did. Okay, yarn over twice, skip a space right here, go into the next space, bring up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go to the skipped space, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw up a loop from that same space again, yarn over and go through the bottom 4 loops. You can see 3 stitches from that repeat. Yarn over twice. I'm going to move a little bit quicker here. If you need to go slow again, feel free to just go back a few seconds and redo that one. I'm going to just move a little bit faster now. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into that next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go back to your skipped space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go into that same space, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through the last 4 loops. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go into the skipped space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the skipped space again, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the bottom 4 stitches. Sorry, I just got stuck in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then I have three loops from that pattern. Okay, yarn over twice, skip a space. Here's my skip space right here. Go into the next space after that, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go back to the skipped space right here, draw up a loop, yarn over, go into that same space again, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through the bottom 4 loops. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into the very next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go into the skipped space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go into the skipped space again, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through the bottom 3 loops. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go back to the skipped space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go back into the skipped space again, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the bottom 4 loops. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go to the skipped space, drop a loop, yarn over, go into the skipped space, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through the bottom 4 loops. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into the following space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go into the skipped space, drop a loop. Yarn over, go into that same skipped space again, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the bottom 4 loops. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into the very next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go back to the skipped space, drop a loop. Yarn over, go through the skipped space again, drop a loop. Yarn over, go through the bottom 4 loops. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go into the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go to the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go back to the skipped space, drop a loop, yarn over, go into that same skipped space, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through the bottom 4. Yarn over twice, skip a space, go to the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go over to the skip space, drop a loop, yarn over again, go to the skipped space, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through the last 4 loops. We're going to yarn over twice, go into, or skip a space, go into the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the very next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go back to the skipped space, drop a loop. Yarn over, go into that same skipped space again, drop a loop. Yarn over, go through the bottom 4. Yarn over twice, skip a space. We're on the last segment of this. Go into the next space, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over twice, go into this very last space here, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go back to your skipped space, drop a loop, yarn over, go back to your skipped space, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through the last 4 loops. Yarn over, and we're going to go into, you could see it's almost, if you crochet, it's kind of like going into a single crochet. Or double crochet, it doesn't matter. You would go into, from a chain, you would go into the stitch, draw up a loop, and then you're going to go through the last 2 here. And so that's how we do every single row that you add. So if you need to go back and rewatch that for the next repeat of it, you can do that. So that would be row, I guess you would consider that row 1, and then we're going to cast off. So yarn over. We've done this once before, but it's going to look exactly the same as before. You yarn over, and the very first time you only go through 1. And then you're going to, for the rest of the row, you're going to yarn over and go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2 loops. Yarn over, go through 2. Remember, you always start this part by just going through 1. Yarn over, go through 2. yarn over, go through 2. So we're going to repeat the row that I just showed you, and then we're going to go back this way that I just showed you, and then we're just going to repeat those 2 over and over. You're going to cast on, cast off, cast on, cast off, until it's either the length that you want, or I'm going to come back when I have it the length that I want, and I'll let you know what length I chose to do. And you can either choose to do the same as me, or you can make it shorter or longer. And then I'll also show you how to cast off here so that you know how to finish this. So go ahead and build it to the length that you want. I'll come back and let you know my length and show you how to cast off, and then we'll be done. Okay, now that it's the length that you want, I'm going to tell you what mine ended up being, but it ended up being a little bit shorter than I would have liked. I thought the 4 skeins of yarn would be more than enough, but it turns out I used every inch of all 4 skeins, and it's not quite the length I would have wanted. Mine is 51 inches or 130 centimeters. But I probably would have liked, another 5 to 10 inches, which I'm sorry, I don't know the transfer. I looked up the other one, but I don't know how that transfers to centimeters. So I know that I wanted to make sure I told you right away how long I had mine, but we're ready to finish it off, and you need to be over to the right. You need to have all of the stitches cast off to finish. So I know it looks weird because you have the spaces, but we're going to do something that will fill the spaces. If you look, I told you that we have bars, and these are the bars that are in between, and the bars have a front and a back to them. So what we're going to do to finish off, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip this very first one that's right under the chain 1 and go to the next one, and you're going to put your hook in between the 2 spaces in that bar. So you're not behind it, you're not in front of it, you're just right in between the stitch, and then you're just going to do a slip stitch. And then we're going to go in the middle of the next bar. I'm not behind it, I'm just right in the middle. I'm trying to show it the best way that I can. And then you're going to do another slip stitch. This is what we're going to do to each stitch across. So go into the bar right in between and then slip stitch. I'll show you 2 more, and then we'll finish this row off camera. So you can see where the stitch is, where the bar is. Go in between the middle of the bar and do a slip stitch. 1 more, and then we'll finish it off camera. So here's the next bar. I'm going to go right in the middle of the bar, so there's still a loop in front and a loop in back, and do a slip stitch. All right, finish the row, go all the way across, and then you're going to, I'll show you. I'll come back and show you. Okay, now that we're at the very end, just like we were doing with the other rounds, the last stitch will go into the side here. Just kind of like you're doing a single crochet, but you're just going to do a slip stitch. And then we're going to cut with a little bit of a tail, just like that. And you're going to pull the yarn through the loop, and then you're going to take, I have it right here, a little yarn needle, darning needle, whatever you want to call it, and weave in the ends. I'm going to weave in the ends off camera. If you're feeling fancy, I don't have enough yarn to do this, so I'm not going to show you, but if you're not sure how to, I'm sure there are videos out there how to do this. If you were feeling fancy, you could put fringe on each of the ends, to make it the way that you want. And then I'm going to come back and show you the whole thing. Here we go. Like I said, it's not as long as I would have liked for it to be, but hopefully you can see if you wanted to wear it. If you wanted to wear it as a shawl, sorry, I was talking with my back to you. It's pretty nice for that. It would just be, a small one. Or it can also be worn as a scarf. So if you were wanting to have this as a scarf, it would be nice and warm. It's nice and thick. I love my scarves thick and chunky like this. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please subscribe and like this video so that I can put more content out there. I have lots of tutorials in my playlists. Each of my playlists are tutorials of things I've created, so I encourage you to go and explore my playlist and see if there's anything else you'd be interested in making. Have a great day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.